Sixers fans, welcome back. Look, a clean 4-1 gentleman's sweep out of the first round against the Washington Wizards. The Sixers looked pretty good last night, to be honest with you, but it's against a team that there's no excuse to not look good against. We should have swept that in 4 games, but I think they wanted to prove my pre-series prediction of 4-1 and losing in the 4th game right. So shout out to you, Philly. But appreciate that, making me look smarter than I am, because I'm not smart. I don't know what I'm talking about. Before jumping in the video, like the video, man. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so bad. It's all I want. I need to hit that before like August. Please help me. Share the video if you want. I don't know. Do whatever you want to do. Like the video, though. That helps it go out. And we need that mucho grande right now. I took French. I don't know. I want to talk about, like, the Sixers and what the Sixers are going to look like without Joel Embiid. And I want to keep this very honest. I don't want to, sugarcoat anything. I don't want to make this sound better than it is. I just want to be very upfront because I have a lot I want to talk about, and I'm just going to rant about it. I don't have a single note anywhere. So this may be a little sporadic, but bear with me, fellas. Okay, so round 1, it went well, obviously. The Sixers dominated. They dominated a team that they had no right to lose against. And what I see in Washington is a very bad and very poorly coached team, which is one thing. Scott Brooks literally just sat there like this all game. All game long. I didn't see his mouth open once. He is not a good coach. He's never been a good coach. They should have fired him years ago. He should never even coached Oklahoma City Thunder back with KD and Russ and all them. Dude's not a good head coach. He shouldn't be in the NBA. Him and Luke Walton, I think, are the 2 worst head coaches in the NBA right now. The man needs to be out. That being said, I think the Sixers did a fantastic job of just playing defense. Without Embiid, the Sixers have struggled defensively. That's been a thing all year round. That's been a thing mostly for Embiid's career, which is interesting because Ben Simmons is known to be the better defender. So Ben Simmons is a very great perimeter defender, and what I love so much about what Doc Rivers did last game was the fact that they started Ben at the 5. I like that. I like that for a couple of reasons. I like that because defensively, with Matisse Thybulle and Ben Simmons out in the starting lineup, it relegates the fact that Embiid is no longer there. It's 2 top 5 defenders, arguably 2 top 10 defenders in the league of Embiid and Simmons. Embiid's out. Okay, you just get the next best option of defense. And in a game and in a team where we're missing our best player, it's defense that's going to help us win. It's going to be defense throughout the rest of this playoffs that is going to be what makes us better than other teams if we want to continue to win without our star player. And I don't know how long Embiid's out for, but it doesn't look very hopeful. Torn meniscus is not the worst thing you can do to your knee, but it is still not good. I've seen the DeAndre Hunter injury, I'm pretty sure was pretty similar to this, and that guy was out for months. And I'm not going to sit here and say Embiid's going to be ready against the series of Atlanta, because personally, I don't think he's going to play in that series at all. I think what is best is to just try to have him ready for the conference finals. And it's going to be a tough road, and I don't know how great this series is going to look with Philadelphia. Without Embiid, it's going to be weird, and rebounding-wise, we might struggle a little bit, and it might go further than it should have and it would have with Embiid in the roster. And that also may not be the worst thing in the world. We just need Embiid healthy by the conference finals, because if he's not, there's no shot that we win that. It doesn't matter what team we play. There is no chance in the world we go to the finals without Embiid. That's just the way it is. There is an arguable chance that we don't even beat the Atlanta Hawks without Joel Embiid. That's just the way the cookie crumbles when you're missing an MVP finalist in the most pivotal part of the year, and it sucks. But back to the meniscus tear, it's just that it's not the worst thing in the world. And I think the day-to-day thing is I don't really know how much I feel and like that, because I don't really think it's day-to-day. I think this is more serious than they're really coming on about. But it's not the worst thing in the world. And I think they may be able to be back by the conference finals. It's going to come down to how much his pain tolerance is, how tough his pain tolerance is, because this tends to be an injury that you don't need to have surgery for, which is freaking fantastic, but it's going to be painful to play through. So it just depends on Embiid's ability to play through pain. I think that's what it's going to come down to. All of that injury stuff aside, back to the defense of the Sixers. Having the ability to have Matisse Thybulle healthy to come into a lineup when we're missing Embiid and put Simmons at the 5 is very, very vital. And it's very important to the Sixers team and the prolonged success that we're looking for, because defensively is going to be where we are still better than other teams. Regardless of Embiid or not, we are still one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. We're just not as good. It's not going to come as easy, but it still should be where we dominate the floor. And offensive opportunities will come from good defensive play, and that is the only way we can win. The only way we can win is by playing tough defense. If we don't play defense in this series, we have no shot. Because our offense is just super stagnant. It's way more stagnant. It's way more like kind of risky. It's kind of like we need somebody new each game to come up and just go off. Seth Curry dropping 30 points is humongous, but how often can we really genuinely rely on Seth Curry to drop 30 points in a playoff game? I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm not trusting a man to hit a career high every single game with Embiid out. I don't trust it. Ben Simmons has been fantastic. He had one bad game, and he has been fantastic for 4 of the 5 games. I will take that. I will take 4 fantastic games out of 5 every single series. I really will, especially out of Ben Simmons. The man put up a fabulous triple-double. He kind of sort of hit his free throws better than he normally does, and he just was aggressive, and he was tough, and defensively he was good. The referees were awful again, but that's a story for another video, I guess. But Ben Simmons needs to be at that level every game. And honestly, how much can we genuinely rely on that? That's just the way of Ben Simmons. I think I rely on it more now than I could say in the regular season, because I think he's playing some of his best basketball in the year right now. And I believe he's a guy who we genuinely need a Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray type of breakout playoff performance out of him, because if not, we're done. We're screwed. If Ben Simmons just hides and plays in the shadows, we aren't going to look good in this series, and it's going to be way tougher to beat a team that we should normally beat in 4 or 5 games against a team that we beat by a combined 70-something points in a 2-game span. We need Ben Simmons to be aggressive. We need Ben Simmons to hit his free throws. And we need Ben Simmons just to get to the line and just impose his big physical body against smaller guards. And he's done that in the last series. And I think he's starting to accept this kind of love-hate relationship that we have towards him. And hopefully that just hopefully it just makes him want to play better basketball, right? That's where I'm at with Ben Simmons. Then comes Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris has been very, very great in this past series, but he's also had games where he just wasn't good. We're going to need more consistent, very, very great performances out of him, and I don't know if he is a guy that we can genuinely give the ball to and ask for 30 points a night. I think he could be, honestly. I think he has the possibility to be, but we're going to need other guys to step up, and Tobias Harris is probably our number 1 guy right now heading into a second round where Trae Young and Ben Simmons are the 2 best players on the court. I don't know. It's not a fantastic series for us right now. It's not a great matchup for us. I think Philadelphia is going to squeeze it out. I think it'll be a 6-game series, probably a 5-6 game series win, but it's not going to be easy, man. It's not going to be an easy series. And I think if you told me 2 weeks from now that the Sixers lost in the second round to the Atlanta Hawks because Embiid wasn't there, unfortunately, I think I would believe you. I would believe you. I wouldn't call you crazy. I think the Sixers have a good chance. I still think the Sixers are a better team than the Atlanta Hawks. Defensively, I think we have what it takes to shut down Trae Young, and at the end of the day, that's what it takes to beat the Atlanta Hawks, for sure. But depth-wise, right now, we're obviously going to struggle a little bit. Ben Simmons cannot get in foul trouble. The refs can't be continuing to screw us because they've been screwing us just left and right for the last series, and we can't have that anymore. We can't be just the butt of every single thing that the NBA wants to do constantly, and it's frustrating. But we are going to need to play our best basketball on a consistent basis. Matisse Thybulle needs to come in, and he needs to just be an absolute lockdown threat to Trae Young. He's probably going to start this series. I don't see why not. Hopefully the series can go 4, 5, 6 games, 5 games. Probably the best bet to get Embiid just to be able to sit and rest and be able to come back in the conference finals and start to play basketball again, because that's what we need. We need Joel Embiid to do anything, be able to do anything. Everything comes down to that. The Sixers looked really good last game. I really think they did. They came out with a purpose, and they came out and put their foot on the Wizards' necks and said, end this series. I don't want to play this series anymore. Let's go home, even though they're already home. And that's exactly what they did. And I think that type of basketball that they have been playing in this past series without Embiid is still good enough to beat the Atlanta Hawks. I still think defensively we have what it takes to be the best defense in the playoffs. Even without Embiid, I genuinely believe with Matisse Thybulle and Ben Simmons and even Danny Green and Dwight Howard off the bench, this team is lethal on the defensive end. And such a monster X factor of a person who I made a video before the playoffs, and I said, this man is going to get minutes and this man is going to cash them in, is Tyrese Maxey. And Tyrese Maxey seems to have completely taken control of Shake Milton's minutes. Hurts a little bit, but Shake Milton's not been good, right? So the fact that Tyrese Maxey is playing better than he has all year, and he is just such a change of pace guy and such an energy player, he is going to be so pivotal. And I personally don't think anybody on the Atlanta Hawks is fast enough to contain my man Tyrese. I mean, Trae Young maybe, but Trae Young is a generationally terrible defender, so there's no chance that that man can guard Tyrese. Tyrese is a guy who can come off the bench, give you 15 minutes, even 20 minutes at this point of where he's at in the rotation, and give you 10 points on efficient scoring, on just fast, hard-nosed basketball, and it changes the pace of the game. He is a constant plus on the court. I rarely see after the game and the plus-minus of a minus number next to Tyrese Maxey. I rarely ever see it. That man is a constant plus when he's on the court, whether it's on defense or offense. He is just a high-motor guy. Not a lot of them players are on teams in the NBA, and we have one, and he is a very talented, very good finishing point guard who can come in and just change the energy of the game. Dwight Howard does the exact same thing on just a much different level, on a much different, exterior visual level. Dwight Howard does it in a totally different manner, and those guys are so important. Our bench needs to come in and just shoot the ball well, play well. Tyrese needs to come in, give us good minutes. Danny Green needs to shoot well. That man shot lights out in the first round, but last game he didn't shoot well. That's fine. Shoot better, in this series. Seth Curry needs to continue to be aggressive. Furkan, if you get minutes, knock down shots, but don't solely rely on the three-point shot, because God, do you become so bad when you only focus on your three-point shooting game. Take a drive, get foul, play some defense, shoot a goddamn mid-range shot. Don't just look and shoot for threes, because the shit's not going to work. We need guys to come up and just play their best basketball, because when a star goes down, everybody else needs to elevate their game. And to be honest, I think the Sixers can go through this series, and we just need to survive one more round. That's kind of where my mentality is. Just survive. Just survive as many games as you possibly can until it is an absolute necessity to bring Embiid back. I think hopefully, I am praying to God that Joel Embiid will be ready by the conference finals, but I'm also praying to the same God that we just survived the second round, because Atlanta's a good team. They are a good team, but they're inexperienced, and I think we have what it takes to shut down what they rely on the most. So hopefully, Sixers in 5, Sixers in 6, one of those two is my guess, but let's go Sixers. Peace out.